YouTube, Big G, back again with another video, and this is part 2 for my Xevious 3D arcade build. As you saw in the first part, I got all the bits and pieces together. Now it's a matter of actually building the actual arcade cabinet. I've decided on going for fiberglassing, so I'm going to use plywood as well as fiberglass. I'm going to build the base and start building the cabinet from the bottom up. A lot of hard work, a lot of sticky work as I work with the fiberglass and the resin and so forth, but otherwise join me and let's see how it goes. Here we have my base. I've sort of measured it on the actual keyboard. I've cut a nice little opening and closing lid so that I can have access to the actual innards of the cabinet, and just to neaten things up. And now I'm just busy painting it, just using normal cheap black spray paint. It's easier to paint it now while I don't have the actual other bits and pieces around it. It just makes it that much easier. And it's just simpler to go for black. Rather keep the insides black, because it's going to affect the lighting and so forth. And I can always change it at a later stage if I wanted a different color. Now I'm fitting the keyboard control deck back on again, just to measure up and just make sure that everything is actually fitting and is the way it's supposed to be. And then it's fitting nice and snug. Just two little supports underneath it, and just fitting the monitor just to make sure that it fits into the recesses. It's very stable. The reason I'm using this monitor is that, you know, for one, I've got it. It's a 17-inch monitor, Super VGA monitor, and why let it go to waste? And yeah, you can see I'm just adding the plywood, just sort of trying to get an idea in mind on how this arcade cabinet's going to work, or how it's going to look, what sort of shape, and I'm building it from the bottom up, so you know, I can change things as I go. Anything goes. And now that I've actually got my pattern in mind, I've gone and marked it out and busy cutting with the jigsaw. In hindsight, I think I should have used the thicker plywood. This is just a normal 6mm plywood. I should maybe have gone for 11mm plywood. It would have really been more sturdy in the long run. But that's the beauty of hindsight. The advantage of this 6mm is it's a lot cheaper. And yeah, you can see I'm just sort of putting the bits and pieces together just to make sure that everything is fitting, that it's starting to look like an arcade machine. The keyboard is fitting nicely, the control deck's there, the monitor's in the middle, just trying to get the positioning right. And yeah, you can see I've just cut out the back section of the monitor just to give it a more pleasing look. And I've just got some metal brackets on there which won't stay there while I just sort of design it. It's sort of a guess as you go type of thing. And now starts the sticky work, fiberglassing. I just hate fiberglassing, but anyway, it really works well with plywood. It's strong, it's durable, it's waterproof. And what I've done here as well, you'll see that my resin is blue. So I've already mixed a colorant in the actual resin. I like to do this just so that I think that I'm going to stick with a blue theme for the cabinet. So I'd rather just mix it in the resin, and it automatically, as I sand it back down again, it's going to be blue all the way through. Otherwise, as you start sanding your resin and start smoothing it up, you get these different colors that come through. So I'm going to keep it blue, and then it just looks a lot better at the end of the day. This is really messy work. I recommend using gloves. You can see I'm not using gloves. They're purely out of laziness. I did have some gloves and I have been using them on and off, but sometimes it's just easier not to use the gloves and just clean your hands with this acetone afterwards. I'm using the little roller just to get the air bubbles out, and I'm just doing some more fiberglassing on the back. My wife is very happy with me at the huge mess that I'm making in our entertainment area, so I'm going to have to do a lot of cleaning up afterwards as well, especially with this fiberglass. It just gets everywhere, but I must say it is really, really strong. and you just spread it on liberally everywhere. And you don't have to worry about working too neatly. The most important thing is try to get all the air bubbles out, because you're going to sand it back down again. You're still going to put a gel coat over this, so you're going to be putting 2 or 3 coats of resin over just to thicken it up, getting the air bubbles out again. And you can make it as thick as you want. It just means there's a lot more sanding to do at the end of the day. Now you can see it's actually starting to take shape. You can see it's starting to get a bit of a gloss on it. I haven't started sanding it at all, so I need to finish up the fiberglassing, and then I'll start the wonderful work of sanding this all back down again and getting it smooth and straight. So this is the other side of it, the last side that I need to fiberglass, and I've used mostly the matte fiberglass strips, and I found that works very, very well. It's actually quite surprising how much resin you actually use. I think this whole build is going to actually end up using 2 5 kg tins of resin at the end of the day. But then again, you do have to do a lot of sanding to get it smooth. And I do spread it on very, very liberally. I want this arcade cabinet to last for a lifetime. And there we have it. This is still in very rough condition. Just to show you what it looks like. And at this stage already, it's already got a lot of strength to it. It's rigid, it's strong, it'll be durable. But now that I need to start sanding it, I've got to get all those, you can see that rough look to it, the actual mesh of the fiberglass that you can see. And now starts the wonderful work of sanding this down. I found the belt sander works well best. It's just so much easier to use. And actually you ended up using 3 different sanding machines. One of the smaller ones to get into the corners, and then this big belt sander for all the major work. It just makes things so much easier. And obviously with all the dust around, you know, have some sort of dust protection. I just found using one of those fishing scarves to be the best idea. It just kept all the dust out without having to worry too much about it. And yes, you are going to itch. There's nothing you can do about it. The fiberglass and the resin just gets everywhere. You can see it's starting to take shape now, and it's just a matter of actually, and then you can see now it's a second time that I'm actually sanding it down. In the meantime, I did give it another gloss coat over the top of resin, nice and thick again, and you can see how rigid it is. I mean, it's not even moving now. It's got a lot of strength to it, and it's just a matter of putting on a layer of resin, sanding it off, putting on a layer of resin, sanding it off down again, and just, you know, rinse and repeat. And there we have it. Still in rough condition, but you can see it is nice and smooth. I've fitted my plexiglass or Perspex screen in the front. You can see some of the places where I've actually sanded through. You can see different colors of blue, but I'm going to have to paint it blue anyway. Just another angle here, and you can see how nice and rigid it's actually looking. I'll still have to, the bezel, I'll still have to put the bezel stickers on and so forth, but that'll be part number 3. And just to show you how I've done my wiring inside, just try to keep it all nice and neat. I must say the you can see how nicely it works with that lid that opens, keeps everything nice and neat. You can see there's my motherboard together with the graphics adapter and the power supply down on the side, all nice and neat, out of the way. And I must say it's not looking too bad at all. Nice and rigid. And you can see I actually put a little bit of Velcro on the front there, because I'm just going to use Velcro to keep the actual screen in place. Okay guys, that's end of part number 2. So basically we've gone now and I've completed the cabinet. I'm going to give it a spray of paint, probably also blue. I was planning on leaving it originally with just the resin coat, but you can see that there are some places where I've actually sanded through the top coat into the second coat. So I've got 2 different shades of blue, so I'm going to have to give it a quick spray. But otherwise I'm happy with the way it's come out so far. In hindsight, I think I would have gone for a thicker plywood and maybe just used something else to smooth it off with and to do the artwork with. But otherwise, the fiberglass, it's worked well. It's just taken such a lot of hard work to get it to this stage. So guys, in part number 3, I'm going to do the artwork and just get everything up and running. But we're getting there slowly but surely. So I hope you enjoyed that. Cheers, guys.